Dr. William Hite, the superintendent of the Philadelphia Public Schools, is joining us in the studios of DAS. Welcome. We're gearing up for a new school year, and it's been a little bumpy this summer. A lot of parents scared about the future of their kids. Let's talk about this deficit, this $50 million. A lot of people want to know, if you knew that this deficit was hanging out there, what took so long? Because it seemed like parents were blindsided.
Yeah, thank you, Patty. And as you indicated, schools begin on Monday, September 9th, and we're excited whenever we get to the opening of the school year. And we started the budget process with a $304 million budget gap. One of the problems with the $50 million conversation was that was monies that we thought we would have toward the beginning of the summer once the legislation passed. The fact that it took so long to get the assurances on the $50 million, then without it, we were at risk of really being able to open schools. And so that's why the conversation shifted from what we needed in order to open adequate schools to just getting the $50 million. We thought we would have that shortly after the legislation passed, once the General Assembly closed. But those monies did not come until the assurances we received a couple of weeks ago.
Is this like a Band-Aid? Because what do we do in the future? It's like, okay, we get this, but what does 2014 look like for us?
Yeah, so the $50 million, along with the $33 million that was approved earlier, it's $83 million of the $304 million hole we started with. We also have a request, still a pending request, to our labor partners for additional $133 million. And those monies are extremely important to providing additional resources and supports to students, getting more guidance counselors, maybe even one per school, making sure that athletics goes a full year instead of a half year, making sure music is all year, making sure we get additional secretaries and other instructional related resources that our children need. And so those contributions could be translated into positions to serve our children.
Dr. Hite is joining us in the studios of WDAS-FM. What could happen in the future so this doesn't happen again, so that we're not here like a year from now saying we need $50 million?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really important question. And one of the reasons we're trying our best to balance our budget now is so that every year we are not coming back with the same requests, and to identify a whole lot of schools that must close, with a request to lay off individuals, with requests for revenue from all various sources, with asking for concessions. So it's really important that the district, for one of the first times in recent history, have a balanced budget so that we can begin planning so their expenses do not exceed the revenues that we are expecting to receive, and so that we can begin to focus on what is most important, the education of the 136,000 children who attend schools every day.
You know, a lot of people feel that Harrisburg doesn't care. Like Governor Corbett just does not care about what's happening here in Philadelphia with our students, with these kids. Why are we having these problems? Why aren't they stepping up? Does Harrisburg care?
Well, I was in Harrisburg a lot, and I was in Harrisburg a lot advocating for the resources for our children. We asked for $180 million, and that $180 million was to come from a combination of state and city. We did not get the full 180, but we did get $112 million of that this year, or at least access to that. We also got $120 million that could be reoccurring, that happens next year and the year after next, and those revenues go a long way into helping us stabilize the district. But in addition, we also asked for the $133 million from our labor partners, because we're going to need contributions to them to help us balance the budget and get critical resources back into schools.
First day of school is September the 9th.
First day of school.
And we want to be ready for our kids because the education is what they need.
Absolutely.
Dr. Hite, I know you've been feeling a lot of heat since you've been in our city. Good luck with what you do. I know it's not easy. It's like he's facing the fire again and again and again. But keep up looking out for the safety of our children, because we need it.
Absolutely. And our children deserve so much more. And one day we're going to be here talking about some good news about the children and the school district of Philadelphia.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.